sold on honest debate. What do you want to see happen from this book?
You know, I think that we have to be aware that political correctness hasn't gone away. I think lots of people thought that political correctness was a phenomenon that, as I detail in the book, was born in the 60s, born of good intention, which was to try and help us on the way to achieving equity, not only in racial terms, but in terms of women, in terms of disabled, you know, to change the way we spoke about people and to help us be more aware of how, in fact, we can be discriminatory in our thought patterns and in our language, and that how this impacts other people. I think it reached the point then where people thought, you know what, they're inhibited from saying what they want to say, from doing what they want to do. It had become excessive. It had declined. But I think today what we have is a situation where you have provocateurs, like the people we were talking about on radio, who say outrageous things and everybody goes tut, tut, tut. But, you know, and then we have it locked in a more permanent basis in terms of a political structure that I think it was Gabrielle Giffords, the congresswoman who was shot, who said it best. She said, you know, people are rewarded for taking extreme positions in this country, political positions, but nobody's rewarded for being in the middle, trying to understand what's in the best interest of the country, trying to reach compromise, being pragmatic in their thinking. You don't get money from the political base for that. So, in fact, the political structure right now supports the idea of extremist, provocative, outlandish statements, the negative ads we were talking about. Lobbying groups do the same thing. You think about how the NRA controls the gun debate in this country because, again, political power. If you say the wrong thing, then you're anti-gun or anti-Second Amendment. You think about abortion in this country. You know, people talk about the very extremes in terms of abortion, you know, and they don't talk about the fact that, you know, married women, oftentimes women with children, are having abortion in this country, and they're having it because they have made a choice about what they want for themselves. No, and then religion gets put in it. You're a bad person if you're thinking this way. It's hard to have an honest debate. How about a debate about immigration? People who have a debate about immigration are told, oh, you're trying to give amnesty. That becomes a power word now. Amnesty to these illegals who have broken the law. Even President George W. Bush said after he left office, he felt as if this populism had rose up and had just stopped reasonable approaches to immigration reform in the country. Or you think about something like energy policy, Diane. Drill, baby, drill. People, all of a sudden you have to be on one side or the other. You cannot engage in an honest conversation about it. How about Israel? Tony Kushner, the playwright, who is a supporter of Israel, says, you know, well, here are some policies that Israel has that I disagree with, and suddenly he has an honorary degree taken away from him. And it's not until it becomes known as to why he is being punished in this way that there's a sufficient backlash that the school changes its mind. I'm telling you, on so many issues right now in this country, you cannot say what you think. You cannot have an honest conversation. So I think if you're asking me what I would like to see, it's that people stand up and say, you know what, I'm not going to be muzzled anymore. I'm sick of it.